She's a Mona Lisa. Everyone's lining up to see her. There must be something about her features. You'll find her beauty goes much deeper once you get to meet her.
Hi guys, welcome back to another one of my videos. Today's video is just about me sharing my journey with anxiety and fear with you. I wasn't supposed to share this video or record this video. I was supposed to record another video which was about my relationship and my love story. And while I was sorting out the kitchen this morning, I just got this nudge that I should film this video today. So I have written down points because it is a long journey that I've been on with anxiety and fear, and I just want to point out the main things to you. And I hope that somebody is touched by this, maybe somebody that is going through it in silence like I was for very long, will be able to get courage and can use these tips to help themselves out of the very, very terrible hole that you can be in when you are suffering or going through some anxiety and fear. So in order for me to explain the story to you, I have to all tell you, the deets about everything. I have to tell you where it all began. So, I have been through things in my life prior to 2017, and the things that should have really affected me emotionally, like really, really affected me. But through the grace of God, they didn't. And I'm so thankful for that. But at the beginning of 2017, I began to struggle with anxiety and fear. And how it began was Denzel was reading a book. I don't know the name of the book. He reads a lot of books, and he was sharing to me a concept from the book. And the concept was about the power of your mind and how you can use it to positively attract things that you want, and then the negative thoughts that you have, you can also attract that to yourself. And he was busy speaking about how basically the mind is powerful, and when you think about negative things, you can actually bring them to yourself. And obviously at this point, I hadn't known a lot about like positivity and negativity and attracting things to yourself, and I didn't understand it very well. And so my mind had latched onto that idea that if you have a negative thought, you can bring it to yourself, and that's not the case. So if you're hearing this, please don't believe that. I don't believe that that's true, because I don't believe that. After 3 years, I can say I don't believe that, and maybe other people believe otherwise. And so, being a human being, I had negative thoughts. And when I heard that, when Denzel said that to me, I became so fearful, because I was like, yo, all of these negative things that I'm thinking are gonna come to me. And it made me spiral downwards so quickly that I didn't even get a chance to like really cognitively process what Denzel was sharing with me. And this is not his fault. It is just my mind's fault that my mind thought about it in a very bad way. So basically, every time I had a negative thought, I would get like literally get hot. Like I wasn't okay, and I don't know why it happened so quickly also, but that's just what happened. And it always happened at nighttime. So at nighttime, I would be going to sleep and I couldn't fall asleep, and my mind would get filled with thoughts, and somehow I went from being somebody who could go to sleep and fall asleep to positive thoughts, to being somebody that couldn't sleep because my mind was filled with negative thoughts of death, of me dying, or family members dying, or doom and gloom and terrible things, and I couldn't get myself out of this trap. And now I understand that what had happened was I kept on giving power to those negative thoughts, and it just kept on overwhelming me, because I would try to stop thinking and be like, Khristen, this is ridiculous. Why are you thinking these things? But because I was trying to stop it so much, I was giving it so much power, attention, that it just kept growing and growing and growing, to the point where there were nights where I couldn't sleep and I would stay awake till like 3 in the morning. Bear in mind, I wake up at 5. 3 in the morning, because I was so fearful of sleeping. I was so fearful of what's going to happen, negative things, who's going to come and destroy my life, and all of this stuff. It was terrible. It was really, really terrible. And that kept me in such a negative rut, because I wouldn't be able to sleep the night before, and then I would go to work the whole day, come home, and be so exhausted that I would sleep till like 6 p.m. again, and then start my night. And because I was napping for so long in the afternoon, I then couldn't sleep at night again, which led to me being awake with all of these thoughts again, night after night after night. And I couldn't shake it. I couldn't break out of it. And as much as I am a Christian, and I was praying, and I was also my prayer life sort of dimmered during this time because I was such in a negative space. But being a Christian person, I couldn't get myself out of it, and it was really terrible. And nobody in my life knew that I was going through this. I don't even think my sister, who I lived with at the time, knew. My Denzel didn't know, my mom didn't know anything. And I think that is why I struggled with it so badly for so long, because I didn't share it with anybody. And eventually I think I had a very, very bad panic attack one morning, and I had to call my mom because I thought that I was losing my mind. I literally thought that the life that I was living wasn't reality, and the negative things were reality. It got really, really bad. And so as soon as I called my mom, and I cried on the phone, it was terrible. I cried on the phone, and I spoke to her, and I told her what I was going through, and she just prayed with me first, obviously. And then after praying with me, she just kept on like making sure I was okay. She would check on me all the time, and it was such a great relief. Like, somebody else knows what I'm going through, and they don't think I'm crazy. They're helping me through, which is my mom. She does think I'm a bit crazy, like crazy girl, but I think she understood what I was going through, and so she would pray with me and pray over me, and I could instantly feel just a weight being lifted off my shoulders. And so my mom would pray for me, and it instantly just felt like a weight off my shoulder. And I would like to encourage anybody that is going through this alone. That is what the devil wants. He wants you to think that you are alone. He wants you to think that if you tell anybody, people are going to think you're crazy, and they're not going to understand you. But that's not the case. If you speak to anybody, all they will want to do is help you. They'll pray with you, they'll encourage you in some way, and be there for you to lean on when you can't do it at all. And so speaking to my mom really helped, and I could feel the fact that she was praying for me and helping me through these things. And I don't know why I'm getting teary-eyed because I've written all of these things down, and I've already gone through it, so that I'm not teary-eyed. So yeah, the scary thing about this whole thing is like I stopped being able to trust my mind. And imagine that you can't trust your mind because you're so scared that what your mind is going to think is going to come to pass. Like, that is freaky. Anyways, moving on. Finally spoke to my mom, and it really helped. And then I was slowly starting to get a bit better, but I was still struggling a lot. So what is very crazy about this thing is, like I said, nobody around me knew, because in the daytime, most of the time, I was fine. I was happy. Those things, I would have those thoughts, but they weren't consuming me. It got to a point where it led to my day life, but I wasn't like people around me, I don't think, because I never spoke to anybody, couldn't see that I was going through these things. Maybe they noticed, okay, Khristen's changed a bit, but like mostly I was fine in the daytime. In the night it would come and attack me, this terrible thing, and eventually I decided, okay, Khristen, this has to stop. Like, you can't be living like this. So I know that it's because of my mom's prayers that I was actually able to make that choice. Like, you need to stop. I started doing some practical things. So listening to a lot of gospel. I started writing in my journal. I started journaling. I would write about how I was feeling, how the fear I was feeling, things I was scared of, and I would ask God to help me, and I would write about how I wanted to feel, or those type of things. And I also started watching positive things, and was being aware of the things that triggered me and what made me feel very fearful. So whether it was quote pages on Instagram that spoke about depression and negative things, I tried to avoid that. Any videos on YouTube that had an underlying negative tone to it, I didn't watch it. Movies, really sad movies about death, I stopped watching those things. Horror movies, I just stopped. I literally just cut out any sort of content that I knew was gonna make what I was experiencing even worse. And slowly but surely, I got out of this rut. And as I was growing with my relationship with God, and you haven't heard me say prayer, because that is what I struggled with a lot. I couldn't physically pray. Like I was praying when I was writing in my Bible, in my journal, but like I would pray about other things like my family or stuff like that, but about this specific issue, I couldn't pray because I could not verbalize what I was going through, because I was so ashamed, I was so embarrassed, I couldn't believe that this is, Khristen, this is what you're going through. So eventually I got to a place where I was praying, and I became so strong spiritually that when I began to have these thoughts, I knew exactly what to do to cut them off. So listen to specific things, watch specific videos, just fill myself with godly, positive content. And through doing that continuously, I was able to overcome it. And I don't even know the day that it happened. I don't remember the day. I just remember myself thinking like, sure, you haven't had a panic attack in a while. Why are you able to sleep properly at night? You aren't having those negative thoughts. Okay, so I don't even know like when it happened, like what day it was when I stopped struggling so terribly with this terrible thing. And all I know is that it's God. And the practical things that I did to overcome it, and like my mom's prayers. So yeah, I'm a crybaby, but anyways, it's emotional because I wasn't me for so long because of this thing, and now I'm finally back to being myself again. And yeah, so my relationship with God was strengthened, and I realized that I physically cannot live without Him. I physically cannot live without praying or reading my Bible or listening to gospel music, because I literally need that for my mental and physical and emotional, sanity. And through building my relationship with God and overcoming my anxiety and fear, I learned about how much the devil tries to, and I said this earlier, mentally try to stop me by making me get anxiety and fear. I believe, that's my belief, so that I would not walk in the destiny and the promises of God for my life. And so just knowing that makes me have so much more power to fight against it, because I know that it's just what the devil is trying to use to stop me and to stop many, many people who are suffering from this, from fulfilling their destiny and from being exactly who God created them to be. So in saying that, I'm going to share the 6 things that I did to help me get through it, and I hope that it would encourage everybody that watches this, or anybody, at least one person, or and these are just my 6 steps. I'm sure everybody has their own things, and maybe you'll start by using my steps and then figure out your own steps. But this is what I use and what I did to help me through it. So, step number 1. I'm a writer, guys. I like writing, so I write steps. I'm done crying now. Okay, step number 1 was to consume a lot of positive information and content. Do not, because Instagram has these pages, do not go on the Instagram page that talks about how heartbreak and all those poems that talk about losing yourself and all that. Don't do it, because that is just the spiral downward. The YouTube videos or those type of negative songs that talk about if the world was ending, you'd come over, right? I know that it's a great song, but don't listen to those songs, because they have a bit of a doom and gloom feel about them, and it's not good. And then also I would say negative horror movies and those type of things, stay away from that. Watch positive comedies, those type of things. It's really such a better option of what to watch, especially when you are going through and suffering with negative thoughts and anxiety and fear. Okay, my second step would be to turn to the Bible, read books of the Bible. If you don't have it, go to the Bible app, download it on your phone. It's so convenient, and they have plans on those Bible apps that you can follow, like how to overcome anxiety, battling the mind, promises of God, all of those type of things, and it will send you a devotional every single day that you can read, and it can be some sort of encouragement and something that your mind can go back to when you are in the hole. It's a real dark hole. Okay, then the next thing is that I would encourage you to tell at least one person in your world about what is going on. For me, it was my mom for a very long time. Eventually, I told Denzel, and I don't know who else I really specifically told about my story, but a lot of people did eventually find out through conversation that I was going through it. But the specific one person that I told was my mom, and she was a great source of help for me during this time. Then number 4 would be to know your triggers. So know the things that affect you and make you go down that hole. For me, it is any like negative talk or like negative conversations, watching or viewing a negative thing, especially pertaining to death or doom and gloom about the world. I don't like it. And then also horror movies and those type of things, I stay away from it completely, because it really affects me. And my friends sometimes laugh at me, because even if you're watching a trailer of a scary movie, I go out of the room because I can't. And then the next thing would be to write down how you're feeling. It's difficult in the beginning, but write down how you feel, and write down how you want to feel, because that is also important, because you writing down how you want to feel gives your mind something positive to latch onto. I would even say write I am happy, I am positive, I am an overcomer, those type of things, and say them over and over again to yourself, and eventually it will help you slowly. These baby steps, these little things that you can do will slowly help you overcome. And then the last thing that I did was to set goals and to occupy my mind. And you can't occupy your mind to the point where you don't deal with the issue, but I think occupying your mind to the point where you have something positive to focus on mentally. So whether it is a fitness goal that you're going to have a 30-day fitness challenge, or you want to achieve something at work, have something to aspire to, have something that is motivating you and pushing you forward, because it gives you some positivity in your body, something to look forward to that can counteract, I believe, the negative and feelings of anxiety. And a big part of that, don't nap in the day. I know it's hard sometimes, but those hours where you lie awake at night because you can't sleep or whatever it is, I found that those were the hours that were the hardest. So if I didn't nap in the day and I kept myself busy, and when I got to bed I was so tired that I didn't even have time to think that helps. I know it's a bit silly, but it really does help. So don't nap. Don't nap, because the night is not a good time. There's not good things on the internet, there's not good things on the TV. So just sleep, you know? Okay, so yeah, that is my little story that I'm sharing with you guys, and I hope that it touches your heart. And it wasn't easy to film this. I think I retook it 3 times and stopped and restarted. But yeah, I hope that you guys learned something, learned more about me, and I hope that you guys stay tuned for my journey going forward. And yeah, thank you for watching so much. See you guys next time.